yoga is all about bringing your mind and your body and really sort of the awareness together. It's all about unity, and it suddenly feels like everything just fits together better. Everything just feels more at ease. Yoga is great for building physical balance as well as mental balance, because the two are really linked. It gives you just a break to really focus inwards, to not be too caught up in everything that's going on around you in the world. And also it gets you to almost create a little bit of space. And that space is almost like a refuge to come to. You just become a lot less reactive to everything. So you become less stressed, less anxious, and that in turn has other health benefits as well. Over time, it just becomes easier, and it can build strength. It can definitely help with flexibility as well. It helps in everyday life, of course, because as you get older, it helps avoid falls. It can just avoid injury. So it's really important, especially as we get older. I came to yoga probably the way that most of us Westerners come to it. I went for the exercise to start with. I just had my children, I was working full time, and it just felt like there was never any time for me and something was missing. So I went along to this class and I just thought, yeah, this feels really good. So I just kept going. And then over time noticed that actually there's so much more to it than just the exercise. And as soon as I realized that, I started looking into this could be something for me. And then it grew from there. So to me, yoga is all about bringing your mind and your body and really sort of the awareness together. It's all about unity. It suddenly feels like everything just fits together better. So the physical benefits for yoga will vary a little bit depending on what sort of class you go to. There are some classes that are quite physically demanding. So if you're going to Ashtanga or Vinyasa, it can build strength. It can definitely help with flexibility as well. And then there's other classes that are much more relaxed, much more calm, and arguably probably much better for your mind only, if that makes sense. So you have yin or restorative, and it just really feels like taking a weight off, and you can almost float away after class. Yoga is great for building physical balance as well as mental balance, because the two are really linked. Most yoga classes will involve some poses where you have to balance on one leg, sometimes on two in slightly different positions. And over time, it just becomes easier, and it helps in everyday life, of course, because as you get older, it helps avoid falls, and it can just avoid injury. So it's really important, especially as we get older. Yoga, I think, is great for mental well-being. It, for a start, gives you just a break to really focus inwards, to not be too caught up in everything that's going on around you in the world. And also it gets you to almost create a little bit of space. And that space is almost like a refuge to come to. You just become a lot less reactive to everything. So you become less stressed, less anxious, and that in turn has other health benefits as well. Yoga isn't at all about touching your toes. That might be a welcome side effect after a while, but yoga meets you wherever you are. If you're not super flexible, there are props. You can use blocks, you can use straps to bring things closer to you. But ultimately, flexibility comes with yoga. It's not a prerequisite. I would say people of any age can do yoga. Again, it's very much about finding the right class for you. But for example, a chair yoga class can be really great to meet you, to build some strength. And who knows, with a bit of time, you might be able to progress, join a hatha class or something else. But yeah, yoga's there to meet you wherever you're currently at. To me, it's really important to keep the heart of yoga alive. So teaching some of the philosophy, some of the background, and really the whole 8-limb path. With the meaning behind it. So not a decorative form or chant thrown in, but rather really bringing it to life.
I've been doing yoga for about 10 years. I started in my early 20s as something to do with my friend, really. It wasn't necessarily about the yoga, it was just becoming popular, and it was something for us to go to together in the evenings. The benefits for me from doing yoga, it's specifically in a class environment, is carving out that time and that motivation to actually do it, to get some time for myself, to feel like I have rested. I view yoga as this little carved out space that's for me, and where I can kind of stretch into my body and I can really relax. I view it as a really integral part of like my self-care. I would say if you're thinking about yoga but you're not sure, that you can kind of turn up to a class. They always feel really inclusive. We don't need to worry about twisting into shapes that you see in magazines or on Instagram. It's not about that, and you can just close down your eyes like I do, and you can just move with your own body. You can turn up to classes. I've had teachers that say if you just want to turn up and lie down for 30 minutes, that's what you should do if that's what you need. So you don't need to think that you need to perform all the time. It's really about kind of getting to know your own body, what it needs, like if it needs rest, if it needs to stretch. So yeah, I find that the most beneficial.
I've been doing yoga for 20 years. I started mainly because I was being very stiff, back problems, consistent back problems, and I found it made a huge difference to my flexibility by consistently doing yoga. Yes, it was to be more flexible, to improve my body flexibility at the time. Since then, it's become far more of a spiritual thing. I enjoy the group that we're in and the spiritual aspect of yoga. I think the spiritual side of yoga enables you to become a lot calmer and thoughtful about your actions. There's a huge range of yoga classes, and it's good to just find out, go along and try different yoga classes. Some will include a lot more spiritual practice, others will be purely a physical exercise, and then you start to find a yoga class that suits you. I've done lots of different yoga classes before arriving at the one I'm doing now. In my experience, all the teachers that I've met, whose classes I've been to, have been very good at appreciating that somebody is just starting and that poses are new to them, and the need for them to be shown what to do and for it to be broken down into easy steps that they can do.
If you're feeling intimidated about coming to yoga and trying your first class, I'd say try to just jump on in. Realistically, what have you got to lose? There are so many classes that you can choose from, and it's really about finding the one that's right for you. If you're completely new to it, start with what your ability level is. If you're quite energetic, quite active, then look for a beginner level vinyasa class maybe, or a hatha class. That's a really good all-rounder. If you're not so sure on the physical side of things, maybe start with something calmer. Anything from a chair yoga class, again, hatha is a good all-rounder. If even that's intimidating, go to a yin class. They are so chilled, so relaxed. It really is worth a go. I promise you won't regret it. I think with any new habit, it's important to make it realistic and achievable. So see what time of day can I possibly carve out, even just 20 minutes. So make almost like an appointment in your calendar saying 20 minutes, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Get on your mat, and if there's a day where you don't particularly feel like moving, that's yoga too. Just sit, focus on your breath, go inward, but make that commitment to yourself and just slowly build the habit. And then before you know it, you'll probably want more. For me, what I like most about teaching is actually the smile on people's faces afterwards. When you see they've really enjoyed the time on their mat, they've maybe really taken on board the teaching that came with it from a philosophical perspective, just that sigh and that smile at the end, just that little lift in the everyday. I think that's the difference that yoga can make, and that's what feels really rewarding. It also has the really nice effect of bringing together a community of really like-minded people. really supportive, really friendly, and it's lovely to just go for coffee and cake after and have that togetherness. Give it a go. It is, in my opinion, the best thing to bring together your mind and your body and just to feel more at ease in who you are. There's nothing to lose. Give it a go.